Game number one, the Division S Qualifier continues, and we are actually looking not at Washed Up this time. Instead, we're taking a closer look at Team Russia, and this is actually the exact same team that played also at the Nexus contest. So the team of Stork is playing again, and they obviously were highly successful at the Nexus contest. I was really looking forward to see them again. Personally, I expected a couple of changes actually, as we normally do when we're looking at these teams that play in a Nations Cup. But apparently, it's the entire team that is playing here today. They go up against Silver 1. This is the third round, I believe, of the tournament here. I don't quite know what level Silver 1 is on. They made it into the third round, so I assume they're not really Silver players, but I wouldn't be able to tell you. Team Russia, on the other hand, I'm really excited to see them now in this environment here. Obviously, we've already shown a couple of the games of Team Washed Up, the former HGC pros. And we're starting to come now in our first qualifier into round 4, round 5, so all of a sudden things start to become a little bit more interesting here. We have Maiev banned out again, Zeratul as well, so all of the heroes that can initiate and can start this, they are already banned out. And we have Tyrael banned away from the blue team. And Hanzo. Immediate Hanzo pick here on Infernal Shrines, trying to get that arrow value right there, as we are trying to determine the first team that's going to qualify directly for the new Division S, the semi-pro league that Heroes Launch is currently building up here. And keep in mind, there's only one qualifier out of 4 that we're going to see. Every single qualifier is going to run 2 days. And there's an Uburak. Picking a Uburak is actually a really good choice here. Rhaegar for Infernal Shrines is these days a bit more popular because of the wave clear. And of course, the burst heal can save an Uburak too. But if you watch the Nexus contest, if you watch that Nations Cup, you know that if Stork gets his hands on an Uburak, he will definitely take an Uburak. And he is going to wreck you. He played fantastic. So we're gonna find out if that is enough to really put the Russians into a bit of trouble here, but right at this point with Diablo, Malfurion and Hanzo, the start into the draft actually looks pretty decent for the Russian team again. And what do you ban out at this point? They have shown, especially in the grand final of the Nexus Cup, a lot of diversity in picks, so they really can branch out. But the one thing that was always true with whatever composition they played was they hold true to that Russian aggression that we have come to expect from Russian teams over the last 3 to 4 years of Heroes of the Storm. And by now, Genji gets banned out. I think it's a pretty good choice, actually. Both the Shimada brothers in the hands of Russia would have probably been a little bit of a problem. So here comes Reyna and gets banned out as well. So no auto attack. And I actually heard that there was one swap on the side of Team Russia. So apparently Toxic was swapped out for the Ukrainian player Shamzik. Not quite sure what the reason for that is. Thanks to Yoshi Tales for the info. But, well, maybe he was too toxic and true to his name. Not quite sure if that's the case. Or if a Russian team would kick you for that particular reason. But they have a Ukrainian player now in their midst. So at least language is not going to be an issue there for them. Leoric with the Swiffer moves again, mopping the floor, maybe, with some of those frontliners. But we have Phoenix now, so there's a lot of slows already. Phoenix can capitalize on that with his salvo, if he gets the Purification salvo through. But they need a little bit more than that. I'm still surprised that we haven't seen Jaina yet picked up, especially with the Uburak. I would have expected that instead of Phoenix, that's one of the first things that you're going to do. That you pick the Jaina, so that you have the wave clear here. Li Ming against the Uburak, taken again. Sonya now, also claimed. Okay, expected something a bit more hit point heavy, to be honest with you. I expected maybe Blaze to be taken, Urel to be taken. Maybe even Arthur's, could have seen that too. But then again, Reyna is banned out and Phoenix was already picked away, so Arthur's would have still been okay, but you don't get that synergy anymore. But what's the burst damage? Where's the mage? Jaina would be the obvious pick, but they go for Kel'Thas. Ashalanore. Salami! Infernal Shrines, map number 1 as we are heading into our first game in this series here at the Division S Qualifier. Let's jump right in. Game number 1, Silver 1 against Team Russia. And on the left side of the map, Silver 1 Starting things up here with Ragnaros on Kalthas. We have Barcode on Phoenix. Weavior on Leoric. Juan on Nubarak. Looking sexy today. And Abels on Rega. On the right side of the map, Team Russia with Farlander on Hanzo. Stalk on Diablo. Kolya Martian on Malfurion. Mr. Banana Beer on Li Ming. And Shamzik on Sonya. And with that, we are heading into our first map, Infernal Shrines, and we're going to see which team takes the lead here and how well, especially Team Russia, who we have our eye on right now, can play in this one. Kalthas going straight into his standard talent, so going straight into the shield here, the Mana Addict, trying to play it around that. Mr. Swiffer himself here, Leo with a mob to the face of Diablo. It's cleaning him up a little bit, those scales got dirty. Stalk moves away from this one. So with Kalthas in play, you have to of course be a bit careful of all the living bomb damage and just seeing all of that happen here. A nice rotation against Farlander, and he nearly dies. I like that. Silver 1 with the early aggression. As we said before, we're looking especially at the Russian team here to see how well they can play in this particular game right now. They were extremely successful at the Nations Cup, but we have the aggression coming in from the blue team, from Silver 1 initially at least. So I really like that they're not too intimidated, you know, they're like going out and they're trying to make a couple of quick kills happen. They have some aggressive rotations, so they're currently trying to fight fire with fire, and I can absolutely respect that. At the top lane, that battle between Sonya and Leoric is something that we have to keep our eye on. But outside of that, it's most of the 4-man that is going to be the explosive setup at the beginning of the game here. Camp at the bot lane. Already about to be taken. Yeah, Juan goes for it. And is able to take that. Easy peasy. The rotation of the Russian team comes in a bit too late. So not doing anything around that yet. That being said, Rega, thanks to the wave that he has, is still sitting in the mid lane here, trying to deal with the opponent's camp. Can of course always use that totem too. But here comes the rest of them, already heading straight in with Barcode on his Phoenix. Getting the abilities out. It's just wave clear. Like, there's not really a lot happening. There were 1 or 2 attempts to go for a quick kill in a rotation, but especially the top lane is pretty much left alone. They're respecting the one-on-one too much. The Nubarak face checking the bush down here a little bit, but Stalk can't do anything about it just yet. They're of course going to try and home in on Kalthas, but he plays this hit safe for the time being too. So all of the teams are just simply like trying to rotate around. Stalk, get some damage onto the front line, onto Juan, but they're not able to get a kill here yet. So it's all about the first objective that we're really waiting for. In the meantime, the teams are just clearing the lanes, clearing experience. And we have now at least the setup for the top lanes. So this is a pretty good one. Making sure that they're timing that just for the shrine. And that gives them an edge already, since the Russian team is not making a rotation towards the top right. Well, and as I say, they're actually starting to make the play. Okay, make it a bit later. And this is an early cap on the camp. This is a really early cap on the camp. So this means that the Russian team is very likely going to have a slight lead when it comes to top lane control, simply because they can easily defend the top now, but they're also therefore late to the party at the bottom. So they will have more pressure topside if they actually let this play through. Then they can Sonya made the rotation. Alright. Initially she looked like you might rotate down to the bottom of the map, but they're far behind. So they're actually mistiming this slightly. They will have a lot of pressure topside, but they are so late with it that it means they are going to very likely lose Punisher number 1. Now the first one is usually not really a big deal, but it's still gonna hurt if you don't play your cards right. Leo is already looking to move towards the top since he realizes what's happening. So now the Protector, the Punisher is taken. Top side, Sonya is not really interrupting that rotation too hard, can't really do a lot about it anyways, but we have Leoric there in time to at least soak the experience. Tower 2 should still fall, but the experience is still gonna be gathered, and down here it's a different story, as we're trying to burn the wall down. So the Russian team under some pressure. Level 7 talents give us again the Chitinous plating, after we still saw the Underking though for the deep dive engage. It's a little bit weird actually to see the Chitinous plating after Underking, but no subterranean shield when you want to go for the aggression. Unless it's the French variation of the build where you're trying to burrow charge away from the target to safety, where you try to escape. Like a French opening in chess, it would be the French variation of this particular Nubarak build. But we have also the Drain Momentum now. Besides that, Warp Warfare. Alright. Warp Warfare taken on level 7. Haven't seen that talent in a hot minute. Shamsick. Oh, okay, dude. 40 HP and he sits there and he's just like, nah, I'm fine here. I'm like, okay. Like that 3-man that rotated towards him, that was pretty dangerous. And he's able to survive through all of that. Of course, with all of the resources invested into it and all the time in particular invested in this particular version, we still had the red team with a chance to go down to the bottom of the map. But even that is sniffed out and Silver 1 goes straight in for that. Silver 1 is actually looking good here. They're actually looking pretty solid at this point. I mean, they're ahead in experience. They've taken the wall at the bottom. They're rotating aggressively. They're stealing the camp away. I'm gonna be blunt. I expected this to be a bit of a stomp into the other direction, but they are definitely starting to establish a small lead in the early stage of the game here. No matter how this series ends, I still have the Russians noted down as the favorite team, but this is starting to already show that there's a few teams that can contest certain angles. This is all happening before we have heroic abilities, though, and before the second objective appears on the map. So it's going to change soon, but just look at the aggression here. Again, good follow-up with the gravity lapse. Sonya for the spin to win, and she's down. And that's the first kill in the game. Team Russia loses a player, and now we have level 10 abilities ready as the shrine is about to spawn. And that allows them to go in again, and they go for Li Ming this time. There's the cocoon even, they set it up again. Oh, and he negates the pyroblast. Oh, nah, that, ooh. Okay. That was a little bit cringy. The cocoon as a pyroblast comes through. I mean, the cocoon wasn't really a bad idea. The thought process behind it is pretty clear. Li Ming was about to get away. Nubruk thinks, hey, we can get a kill. And Kalthus at the same time thought they were just going to try and drop her right away. So it's a bit of miscommunication that happened there. Looked worse than it is. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's bad, but it's not like they intentionally try to do any of this. It's just a bit of miscommunication that can be fixed. But yeah, it looked a little bit bad, to be honest. Didn't look too great. Either way, they are the ones with the kill. So now they're just trying to live up to the name a little bit, I would say. If you call your team Silver 1, you need to at least one Silver 1 play, and I think that was it. If they're going to continue with it or not, that's a different story, I would assume. But as we are looking at the second objective, times will tell. Apocalypse this time, by the way, so arrow from Hanzo into the Apocalypse, or vice versa. That's going to be the play here. Nubarak, a little bit short here, as arrow into Apocalypse, and a good cleanse on Kalthus. Coordination could have been a little bit better for Russia, but they still get the kill. And there comes the immediate counter approach. But not enough damage, and Leo just barely gets out. Phoenix also had to warp away from this one. So Russia goes in, takes the kill, and is about to take the objective right now. But Silver 1 is fighting back. Silver 1 is starting to fight back in this game. They're looking pretty decent. Yeah, they lose the second objective, but they're definitely not a pushover team that you can simply ignore and do your thing. They're currently playing this quite nice. Some good moments here. Need to bait the Punisher over, though. Nubarak is there. Alright, and there we have the bait. Straight on the Nubarak, but the wall is already down, or at least parts of it. The first tower is about to fall. Khaldor Martian is taking that apart. Sonya has taken the camp at the top right now and is trying to push the top lane. Experience is still pretty much dead even at this point, but once the fort falls, it's going to change, obviously. Ragnaros still getting the shield in. Gets his mana shield through the mana addict, and he really needs to. He's been the target now several times. Actually alive in the last fight because of Avos, who used that cleanse at the perfect time, just as the combo with the Hanzo arrow into the Apocalypse was about to hit. So it was well done by him. Oh, Stalk goes in deep, but there's the arrow. No follow-up. Apocalypse wasn't ready. Again, the cocoon being used, but the quick disintegrate to burn it down. Weavor on Leoric, doing his thing, and well, we still have the invade on the camp. They're still trying to take it, and Stalk zones them out. He zones them out on the left side. They take the camp, and that should be the end of the fort. Yep, they take the fort here too. Solid position for Team Russia now. They managed to take out the fort in the middle. They took out the fort at the top lane, and now the passive experience is increasing for them. And will help them to establish elite in XP and maybe even a talent advantage. And that's of course what they ideally would look for, especially towards the next objective. But considering how close the two of them are, it's very likely that we're going to see a 13 versus 13 fight. Farlander goes down, and, well, the better safe than sorry Pyroblast. It's nothing but dead air. But they got the kill at least. Here comes the Ancestral on Phoenix, as we actually see Russia rotating in. It's a 4 versus 4 since Leo isn't here. And there's the attack attempt again, but Shamzik rotates out and is safe for now. 2 kills against 1. 16 talents, still a bit away, but we have the 13s now. And that gives especially Rhaegar a little bit more wiggle room on his level 13 to get the Ancestral through. With the Earth Shield, he gets the extra precious time to just get the delay through from the Ancestral healing and make sure that he can save the target. Khaldor's, of course, now with the Pyromaniac. Arrow gets dodged, misses here. They're trying to make the play for the camp again. Hanzo throws that out, still has the time. And again, this is a typical case where you just throw a couple of heroic abilities out because you know that they are going to be back up for the next shrine anyways. So you know that if you can connect, if you get some damage in, that's fantastic. And you can take a lead from there. But if it doesn't, you still can avoid fights and just fight over the objective. Nice attack here against Huan. He actually survives this. And Nubarak survives it, but Rhaegar doesn't. He goes down and Nubarak then falls too. The cocoon came out a bit too late. They're trying to make the play for Leoric here. Bana Beer nearly falling and forces Kolya Martian to actually get his own ult out. And as it stands, we have now 3 heroes down. It's a full triple, baby. And with that, the objective that just got announced should have a lead for the red team ready. For us at this point, you also want to take a quick look. Are there any camps coming up that we can take? Do we go for more structures? And since they still have some time left, they are just rotating 1-2 heroes to the top and the rest stayed spot lane and starts to break through the wall, opens that up for later. Can't really fight here for too long, but you can at least take some of the structures out. And Sonya is already on the shrine. She's already going to do her thing. As we have Hanzo still in a little bit of a staring contest for a few seconds with Khaldor. But of course now the rotations come in. And he needs to come in here too. Arrow gets dodged again. Arrow goes all the way over here. It's a long distance arrow. Huh? Didn't hit anything. But they're trying to make the play for Li Ming. And Li Ming is low. And that should be the kill. Li Ming goes down as Ragnaros. On this Khaldor moves in from the side and hits the gravity lapse. And they're trying to get another one. Stork is isolated. Sonya is about to grab the Punisher at the top lane. Could go for 39 and just wait it out because Stork is dying. Even going for the Entomb. And the Entomb didn't only catch Diablo. It also caught someone else. It caught Malfurion. And Malfurion dies too. Yes, Russia might have level 16 a few seconds before Silver 1 does, but the blue team is all of a sudden ahead in kills and is looking again great here. They have now a 5 versus 3 on the map. They're very unlikely to make any big plays over the Immortal itself because the Immortal is about to be taken. There's only one single stack missing, and that's one that you are easily going to get if you are Team Russia. But they put Huan in to at least threaten that they're going to make the play and force the hand of Russia eventually. The rest of the team is currently trying to push out the bot lane. That's at least what Leoric is doing. And they have to prepare for the defense. But even with just Li Ming firing 1 or 2 combos, there should be no doubt in your mind that Russia is going to grab this. Unless there's a team fight fought and takes some down. But nope, there it is. Mortar Punisher is taken. And now we have 16 versus 16 with the 3rd objective of the game. Moving through the top. And the name of the game is again, bait it over, burn it down. Bait it over as quickly as you can, burn the Punisher down and try to make that play. Hanzo has the arrow and he's waiting for it. Farlander is waiting for the arrow right now. Didn't connect the last 2, but when he sees a chance, he will hit it. They take the camp here. They opened up the small wall already. Punisher gets burned down. Keep is still there so far. And they're letting it go. Not making the play right now. Question is, how far is Silver 1 moving out here? Not too far. They have the Epicenter on 16 right now. That's such a great talent for Nubarak. It's actually insane how much value that adds. Having that on Nubarak is just absolutely amazing. Your dives, when you go in, you will hit your target. And then you just need your friends to follow this up, and a Gravity Lapse would be fantastic. Even if Entomb is being hit. And that brings us also to level 20. Keep in mind what's going to happen once we have... Oh, the arrow! Can they get a noob? Yes, they do. Rhaegar hesitating for too long. Doesn't want to drop the Ancestral, and that it is too late. So Nubarak goes down, Rhaegar sitting there and is like, nah, I think we're gonna get you out. Oh, oops. I guess we don't. And that opens up the bot lane again. And that is going to be another fort. And with this now, 3 forts will have fallen. So every single fort on the side of Silver 1 is destroyed. 5 kills against 5. Kel'Thas dies. Okay. Kel'Thas in the mid lane gets randomly taken out here. That should not have happened. I moved too far out for this. But Sonya has now taken the bottom of the map. With Shamsik, they're sieging up in the middle. But of course, as we are seeing Sonya push in the bot lane, she can still take another wave here and escort those minions straight in. And that's what we're seeing right now. The rotation down towards the bottom. Let the opponent deal with all the camps right here. And instead move down to the bottom of the map and go straight in for this one. Try and drop that too. And yep, that's what we have. Maybe even the keep. I mean, as Kel'Thas isn't there, if they get the damage in against the keep with the waves that are still soaking up some of the shots, that would be a dream for them. And they already have it at nearly half HP. The next shrine is also spawning bot side, but here comes their doom. Sonya should still be fine for now. They're turning it around, actually. Leoric is all of a sudden in trouble, and here comes the APOC. A little bit random, not really the combo that you would expect from Stalk. But they're still 1.5 levels ahead, thanks to the passive experience tickle and the structures that they took down. Here comes the play, maybe for Li Ming. Can they get her? Doesn't look like it. Sonya zoning them again. And here comes the Pyro. Nearly dropping Li Ming, but not quite. And with Li Ming still alive, they at least get the kill against Sonya. Sonya goes down, but we're seeing them still trying to take this. And Diablo is in trouble. And with trouble, I mean he's dead. Diablo is dead, Sonya is down, and despite the fact that Russia has taken all 3 forts and the kills and the lead in experience, we are actually seeing Silver 1 fight back fairly nicely here. They're doing extremely well with this now. At least starting the comeback, and I mean they have to. The next shrine is spawning, and they are close to going up against an opponent that has level 20 talents. And once the Storm talents are in here, it's becoming really, really difficult. On the other hand, if they get their own Storm talents, come to Papa, mommy. This is going to be buried alive. We're going to see rewinds. So there's a lot of fantastic ult upgrades coming through for the blue team. The buried alive alone can absolutely destroy a team fight if played correctly. But the fact of the matter is they don't have it yet. And so we are looking at Tal Russias. Diablo is still down for a few seconds, so very likely that the Punisher is going to be taken. But how much can you do with the Punisher while you do not have level 20 against an opponent that is rocking that talent already? 37, 38, here we go. Punisher down to the bottom of the map. Still half a level away. 7 kills against 6. Like, we could be in for a treat here. Silver 1, they're making the plays. Silver 1 with a big plays here. Starting to go in for that. Down to the bottom of the map right now. Starting to move straight in. Arrow hits them. Apocalypse. And is it the kill? Yeah. Leoric goes down. He's dead. No chance for him. No chance, lands. The wall is open. 20 is still not ready. Leo is getting trade value while the rest of the team watches as the Punisher destroys the final tower at that wall. We are 18 minutes in. We have any second now. 20 versus 20. And so far not a single keep has fallen. Top lane has to be dealt with, but Leo is already on his way back, and we are going to be looking at another big team fight with 20 versus 20 talents. Buried alive, flamethrower for the extra distance, the unconquered spirit, and for Rhaegar even the storm shield. Those are some great level 20 talents that they have. Yeah, this is some great shit. So they can definitely face their opponent now. Even with the combo that was executed, there wasn't really too much kill potential here for Russia. They got Leoric in the end, but they would of course love to get Rhaegar instead or drop Kel'Thas. Okay, again, stun into stun into stun, and Anubarak gets destroyed. Anub got wrecked. Stun into stun. The 16 talent, domination, that's the one. You overpower, you get the shadow charge cooldown back, you get the double stun into the wall, and that alone already drops so much HP. And if the cleanse of Rhaegar isn't there in time, or the ancestral, then there's absolutely no way to keep that hero alive. So even with how good Silver 1 looks right now, they still are currently getting demolished here in those important instances and lose the first keep of the game. First keep is down, and they could even work on the one in the middle if they want to rotate in. The problem is that the lane is really pushed out far, so there's pretty much no chance of escorting one in. Arrow again, hits. Here's the Apocalypse, the stun into it, and Leo is dead. The staggered death against Leoric. 9 kills against 7. And they're looking at the core. They're looking to end right now. Anubabrat is back though, and he has Cocoon. I'm not quite sure if they can end here, to be honest with you. I don't think they can. I think this is a pretty ballsy choice that they're making here right now. Yeah, there comes the shield, the damage, and Phoenix falls. That changes things pretty quickly, especially if they get another kill. Sonya's alive. Here comes Malfurion with the ult. Cocoon has been used and burned down, and all of a sudden we're looking at a different game. Yep, there comes the quick slam against Rhaegar, and that is it. Down goes the dog, and with that we have the shields dropping as well, and the core itself is starting to take significant damage here. Anubarak is already low as they're trying to turn it around against Kel'Thas, and with a spear connecting. That's the kill right there. Anubarak himself might fall too, but regardless of that, the core is dropping. 12 kills against 5, and we have Team Russia take game number 1 against Silver 1. Their opponent here at the Division S Qualifier, but still a valiant effort by the blue team. GG and well played, as we are about to head into game number 2. And here we go, game number 2. Volskaya again starts to become a big option for teams as the second map here. Now that we're having a couple of former pros joining our matches again. And well, we're having, in this case, apparently we have to wait for a player first of all. That's a little bit of a long one. Getting worried that the lobby is going to drop, but nope, here we go. So, question was who has first pick, first ban, and the question has been answered. Team Russia has first pick, first burn, which also means that Silver 1 decided that they want to have map choice over first pick, first burn. The losing team always makes the decision. So Silver 1 feels Volskaya, that's our map. So this is what they're currently doing here. And they might have a strategy, they might have a draft prepared for this one. The first ban that we're seeing come through is immediately on Tyrande. So it seems like Team Russia doesn't really want to pick her, but also doesn't want to go up against the block composition again. I would still expect that Maiev is going to be banned out, for sure. Yeah. This is another great map for Maiev. There's a lot of conveyor belts in particular, where you have really annoying choke points. When you're looking at the second protector, for example, there's also some massive choke points towards the side on the left and right that you can use with Maiev to get a lot of tethers together and a ton of damage with cooldown reductions. So it's pretty tricky. And even a ban on Hanzo here to prevent the arrow from coming through. That's another perk for sure. But with that said, Zeratul gets banned as well, and we kind of have this pattern still where it's all about banning out the engage heroes. We have not seen a single tank targeted in this particular draft though. That leads us immediately to Tyrael being picked. In the first pick position too. So Tyrael has become more and more a staple in compositions for a lot of teams, and we've seen him during the Nations Cup a lot. Now in the Division S qualifier here, we also have seen Tyrael banned out a few times, but with him being available, Russia now jumps immediately on the chance of grabbing him for themselves. And what's the strategy that we have for Silver 1? They're playing around Garrosh at the front line with Malfurion, as Tyrande is banned out, so the root follow-up for that. And those heals. They played a good first game. I was really surprised. Like, I gotta admit that most of the players don't really ring a bell. Some of the names look familiar, but I didn't expect them to do this well against their opponent. And Team Russia is now heading in with a Jaina and Ana setup, so the nano boost on Jaina is what we're gonna get in this game. And I'm really, really curious to see how Russia is playing this now. I mean, you need to look at some of these tournaments. In the early round, especially if you're an experienced team, oftentimes you play against opponents that are not quite as strong. And then sometimes you fall into that mindset where you don't take every game super serious, where you're getting away with more stuff. And I'm not necessarily saying that this was what Russia did in game number 1 of this particular series, but I think they were probably caught off guard a bit too, and were then realizing, guys, this is actually not as easy as we expected here. So I want to see if this is going to be like a full try-hard attempt now, you know, just shut this down right away to make sure there's no doubt who's the favorite here and to make a statement. But Silver 1 played a good first game, and they're of course hungry to get a victory here and force at least the third map out of this. And they chose the map too, so they have an idea here. And that idea also includes Alarak that they're playing right now. And they're going for Reyna. So we have Jimmy with Alarak, Garrosh and Malfurion taken. And Phoenix and Blaze are rounding out the draft for Team Russia. So they go into that old school setup with Sanctification plus Bunker that we have now for pretty much strong for more than a year. Was first introduced at the Western Clash in Katowice at the beginning of 2018. That's when we saw that just pop up through the tournament over and over again and become a huge staple. And first picked even by a lot of teams. And it still comes back every now and then. And just lately it has been a good one too. Johanna as the last pick. Garrosh Johanna. Okay, that's a lot of wave clear, and that is a lot of presence on that shrine. But Johanna, Garrosh, and Alarak, that is an interesting setup with a lot of CC, a lot of slows to give the Jimmy the extra damage, and I am intrigued how this goes. Let's head in. Well, Sky Foundry. Game on, everybody. We have our second map at hand. Russia's in the lead, and on the left we have their opponent. It is Silver 1 with Ragnaros on Alarak, Barcode on Reyna, Vivio on Johanna, we see Juan on Garrosh, and Abels on Malfurion. And to the right side of the map, Team Russia, with Phoenix, played by Farlander, Stork on Tyrael, Kolya Martian on Anna, Mr. Barnaby on Jaina, and Shamzik on Blaze. Game 1 was close, closer than expected. But then towards the late game, really solid performance by the Russian team. We have a very aggressive, well, a very tanky combo for Silver 1 at the front line. I mean, they're basically playing with double tank here, and I would expect that Johanna is most likely going to find herself on the off lane. In theory, Johanna is definitely a hero that would make a good off lane as well. She has the wave clear, she has the self-sustain if she goes into the Laws of Hope. So there's definitely an argument to be made for why she can run a solo lane. And on the shrine, having two tanks is going to be pretty good on the control point. And then you have Alarak, of course, for those combos. And as expected, Johanna is the one rotating down to the bottom of the map at this point in time. Team Russia with more of a traditional composition here, heavily banking their hopes of damage into Phoenix and Jaina, having Ana with that. And then, of course, that combo at the front line with the layered chances of saving heroes through a bunker, through a sanctification. It's a really powerful setup if you want to keep someone alive. So this is exactly what we're looking at right now for Russia. And it's a lineup that they played heavily with in the past. We have the traditional timings also now on those turrets. 1 minute in when the camps spawn, we have the teams moving straight into it. And still, two heroes double checking a little bit what's happening around this one. Is my opponent maybe trying to neglect the turret camp in the early game just simply to make the rotation towards the healing beacon and grab that instead? That's not the case, but they're still keeping an eye on it. They're still trying to use that. Now we have still towards the top another one-on-one with Alarak going up against Phoenix. Going up against Phoenix on a solo lane is annoying. In the late game that always falls off a little bit, but at the beginning of the game it's really an annoying lane to play. Again, just a dodge around the healing beacon as we normally have it. So both of the teams are just making sure that they're not missing anything. And we have, at the same time, a camp taken by Barnaby and Anna. So they take the camp and they claim it immediately. So they're not like staggering it out and waiting for later on. They take it right away, and now they're trying to make more of an aggressive position around this area happen, so they have a chance to maybe go for that item as well. So far that isn't the case. We have instead level 5 on both sides with the level 4 talents in, and interesting enough, the Eternal Retaliation, it just specs more into that solo laner idea. Eternal Retaliation is going to help you to get more condemns through, and with that you have obviously more control over the lane that you're trying to clear. So Johanna finds herself in that spot. There's the rotation to take her down, by the way, but Vivio already sniffed it out and was moving out. Could have always used the Iron Skin to just move away and out of harm's way, but still, nice move. I like it. And a good build as well. Again, caters towards what he's trying to do here. Caters towards the solo lane instead of the main tank, where we, for example, oftentimes see the cooldown reduction with Hold Your Ground on level 1. for the Iron Skin. That's one variation that you can play it, and oftentimes with the Condemn we're also seeing the speed bonus instead. That was a nice one here. Oh, Roots, and even more tower shots are being fired against Blaze, and Shamzik is dropping pretty low here. We'll have to move away from this a bit, but can still of course heal himself up with the oil spill that he sets on fire there. Here comes that heavy front line though, with a double tank plus Alarak that we discussed earlier, trying to make the play for Tyrael. Doesn't quite work out with the Druid's Might. Jumps away. Level 7 talents, quicker for Russia, but they're losing now ground on the objective as the hit points or the percentage points are slowly ticking in for Silver 1. In comes Shamzik again. Tyrael at the front, zoning them out. Another sleep dart, but it misses. 5 stacks so far for Arna's 1. And they're going in again with Alarak not getting a combo, but we're having now Johanna completely body blocked, and she's down, and she might not be the only one. Garrosh dies too. Russia goes in. Oh, Russia goes in, gets the double kill. But then Phoenix is playing it too aggressive, is overconfident, and Ragnaros punishes him for it immediately. Gets the combo off with Alarak, and then the towers do the rest. Good kill here. A trade 1 for 2 at least, but still the 83% on the progress bar for Team Russia as they are trying to take that protector as quickly as they possibly can. Good position. Overtime has already been reached. Phoenix is on the way back, and they are going to try and win this one and then prepare the top lane for the next objective. Moving in already, Shamzik is low and barely gets away, but he is able to walk out of it. But the position on the shrine, position on the control point, now in the hands of Silver 1. They're starting to force this a lot more, but they can never move away from this. If they move out too much, then they're doomed. And here comes the flip, and Jaina is down. Great move by Garrosh. Juan here with a fantastic setup, and that kill was an important one. Jaina should be able to get back here, unless there is, of course, a staggered death. It should still end up in a 5 versus 5, but it's an interesting scenario that we all of a sudden have. Silver 1 is fighting back, and they are putting their claws into that control point. They're digging their heels in, and another kill opportunity. A flip into the Alarak combo, and that's the stagger death that they try to prevent. Down goes Blaze, and that protector could very well end up in the hands of Silver 1. Good move by them, and I think at this point you might even have to give it up. It's getting close though. 64%, I mean, you have a chance there. If everybody rotates in and Blaze hurries a little bit, you might be able to contest that. And I think even with level 10, you might not only be able to, you kind of have to. Level 10 abilities, didn't even realize how far ahead they were in experience, to tell you the truth. With that, there's no way they're going to lose that protector. That's unfortunate for Silver 1. All the experience that was just soaked on the sides allowed Team Russia to get the level 10, and then of course you have to give this one up. They might even lose Garrosh here, not quite. Silver 1 could have rotated heroes away and tried to soak the side lanes, but they didn't. But I have to admit, I missed it too, how close they were to the level 10 ability after Blaze fell. So, really well done here by Russia. Regardless, I mean, the kills were great for Silver 1, and them fighting back into this was an accomplishment in itself already. But they're still losing out now on the wall in the middle, and now the protector should actually move towards the top and prep the lane. Goes in a bit late because 2 heroes are just pushing out the minion wave, so that those are clashing into the towers, and the protector is not going to get attacked directly. But the main objective is still to take down the opponent's fountain, and in an ideal world, of course, the fort too. Johanna still in that one-on-one against Blaze at the bottom of the map. Damage against Alarak here, gets healed up though. Morpheon is ready for it. Nice sleeping dart. That was number 10. Colia Marshall on his Ana has now the first range increase. And Garrosh didn't really look too good there. That protector is just absolutely beasting it. Get a lot of damage onto this. The Alarak combo tickles Stalk a bit, but doesn't really do too much against Tyrael in that instance. The rotation between the heroes at the bottom and the middle is still continuing, so they're getting that. But yeah, first objective is set up, but I am impressed by Silver 1. They were not a team that I had on the radar at all, but even if they would lose the series here, I'm really curious to see if maybe over time they can do more and maybe get close to qualify. Juan goes down. That was a good kill. Russia is starting to become way more aggressive with this, and there's the second kill as Johanna falls, and now it becomes a snowball. Triple kill, and they're even looking at another one. There's the jet propulsion. Stork moves in from the side. There's the sanctification. They try to go for the body blocks, and there's a team wipe. 5-man team wipe as Alarak and Reyna go down. And Russia definitely putting their mark onto the map now and saying this game, this series belongs to us. But Silver won, they made it into the third round here, and again, with the qualifier format that we're running, it's not only that you qualify directly for Division S if you win a tournament, but you can gather points if you make it far into the tournament. And if you just collect a couple in the first one, but you get farther and farther in 2, 3, and 4, then you have a chance of qualifying through the ranking points. So, Silver won, definitely showing a couple of good signs here. And if they scrim, I mean, the qualifiers are running in an interval of a week, so you still have some time to improve there. I could totally see them at least glancing at those qualification spots and maybe making something here. At least for now, considering this is the first time they popped up on the radar, I actually like what they're doing. The Russian team is playing this extremely well now, or a little bit more, like way more coordinated, and they are a strong one. I mean, these guys won the Nations Cup for a reason. So, yeah, I'm curious how far they can go. I definitely hope that we're going to see them in qualifier number 2 again. If they don't turn this game around. We've seen crazier comebacks, let's face it. And with the Alarak plays that we have here, Jaina was already under pressure. Jaina was already in a position where she's like, yeah, maybe a little bit far out for this one. The Alarak combo hits hard. And there's the 13 talent, and all of a sudden they're making the play. Or they're trying to. Starting to move in. Garrosh was looking for that flip but couldn't find it. But now we have cooldowns ready on both sides again. And they are finding everything here. They have 2 main tanks. Keep that in mind. Jet propulsion. Nope, not this time. Oh, Blessed Shield on the other hand. Comes out. And still the kill against Garrosh. Garrosh goes down, and that starts to become a problem. Because this comes at a bad time. The objective has been announced now. And you have 3 kills against 8. 15 versus 13 is the level. That's a 2-level difference. Reyna might not be able to take Fallander down here, but they are still putting the pain on. And now with the turnaround, Reyna might actually fall. Good combo from Alarak against 2. That just might, yeah, it leads to the kill against Tyrael, but, well, Phoenix goes in, takes down Jimmy, and Johanna has fallen too. Kill for 2 here after we had the initial blow up of Garrosh, and they are fighting as much as they can. I mean, they're really fighting tooth and nail here, but now they're falling even more behind in experience, and we're talking about objective number 2 now with level 16 on the board, which is a little bit nuts. Normally teams are fighting for level 13 at that time, but as it stands, they have level 16 talents, and this is something where you just have to admit that it's over. Not the game, but the second protector. Like, that one you're not gonna get. It's just not happening. Not when you don't have level 16 and your opponent does, and you still have to wait for a few heroes to come back. So, this is getting really, really tough right now. I mean, damage output, just Alarak is sitting at 28,000, nearly the same amount of damage that we see from Jimmy. Close, at least. 26k for Phoenix. And here's another taunt. Here's the flip, the taunt. They're trying to go for the kill. And Barnaby survives and turns it around with the help of his team. Jaina still dies, but so does Garrosh. Garrosh is more dead than alive these days. Phoenix is completely unimpressed from all of this, just sitting at the top lane and just thinks to himself, you plebs, I'm gonna go for the objective, because objective win games. But we have the kill exchange down here. Silver 1 is playing aggressive. They are playing really, really aggressive with this now. I think if they improve a little bit, they can definitely make it to Gold 5, at least. Kappa. But at least for the defenses, they should have level 16 if they soak a little bit. Problem is they can only soak top lane, and that fort is at least gonna go down. I mean, the passive experience is, of course, gonna become a concern here very soon, and kinda is already. First of all, you have the talent down, but second of all, you're losing now more structures on the map. And I guess we're going to see the rotation down to the bottom from the Punisher, the Protector, to try and get this one as well. At least the Fountain. I get the Fountain, prepare for the next objective. That's kind of what you have to do there. So, we have them jumping in again. 11 kills against 5 now. The defense attempt with now Johanna rotating back down after she gained the experience. There's Hyperion. Oh, Garrosh! Ooh, 40, and that's it. He's dead again. I wasn't kidding when I said he's more dead than alive. Ring is in, and that is after the Alarak kill. Another one secured against Jim Raynor. Johanna goes down 2, and now we are just seeing the Russian team saying, YOLO! They are going deep. Screw the fort. Who needs forts when you can go for the keep? And they take that in the back line without any problem whatsoever. With 4 heroes down, there's no issue whatsoever. They can just simply start to move now onto the fort itself on the way back. Drop that too. It's a great preparation for another potential objective at the bottom of the map, and the third objective phase as it stands. But just look at experience alone. We should see level 20 by that time. They dominate the map so hard that they can simply steal their opponent's camp away without any pressure against them whatsoever. Damage output by now has of course also spiked. We have 38k for Jaina. Phoenix and especially Tyrael are actually sitting at 30,000 and 31,000. That's pretty impressive too. And Silver One is throwing a Hail Mary now. They know that their best chance to come back into this is forcing fights now, while there's still 16 versus 16 talents. Which is also the reason why Russia plays it a bit safer. But here comes the salvo again, and the engage blazes in deep against Malfurion. Alarak is dead, Malf about to fall, Johanna dies first though. It's like it's a race. And that's the end of Malfurion. They're even trying to make the play against Garrosh again, and yep, Garrosh is dead. He's not the only one. They're wiping them once more. It's a full team wipe, but it was also the only move that they had. I mean, we gotta be fair here. It's the only thing they could do. If your opponent gets 20 and you have to fight for the bottom against 20 abilities and the Protector, the best chance that Silver One had was to throw a Hail Mary attempt at that fight. Go in, try and steal the beacon and win a team fight. Didn't quite work out for them. But we have Russia stepping it up massively in game number 2, and they advance to the next round of the qualifier. They take down Silver One with a 2-0 in the series.